Greetings and infinite blessings to all of you beings of light out there. Thank you for joining me on this channel, studying the lessons of A Course in Miracles. And today for me is the 4th of July, 2024. It's Freedom Day, the other F word. The course lesson today is going to talk to us about salvation and forgiveness. So all the good F words, forgiveness, freedom, funny, all those things. All right, today we're on lesson number 186, Salvation of the World Depends on Me. A great affirmation and concept to have running through your mind today if you're watching this on July 4th, but whenever you're watching it, feel the energy of the heightened sense of freedom, the awareness and the gratitude of the abundance that we live in the world today because of the spiritual awakening that so many people are going through. So have faith that that energy is flooding through me, out to you, and all around our world, the universe, the galaxies, the multiverse, all of it. So join me in this reading today and let it wash over you, sink in all the ways that it can envelop you and heal your mind. Lesson 186, Salvation of the World Depends on Me. Here is the statement that will one day take all arrogance away from every mind. Here is the thought of true humility, which holds no function as your own, but that which has been given you. It offers your acceptance of a part assigned to you without insisting on another role. It does not judge your proper role. It but acknowledges the will of God is done on earth as well as heaven. It unites all wills on earth in heaven's plan to save the world, restoring it to heaven's peace. Let us not fight our function. We did not establish it. It is not our idea. The means are given us by which it will be perfectly accomplished. All that we are asked to do is to accept our part in genuine humility and not deny with self-deceiving arrogance that you are worthy. What is given us to do, we have the strength to do. Our minds are suited perfectly to take the part assigned to us by one who knows us well. Today's idea may seem quite sobering until you see its meaning. All it says is that your Father still remembers you and offers you the perfect trust he holds in you who are his Son. It does not ask that you be different in any way from what you are. What could humility request but this? And what could arrogance deny but this? Today, we will not shrink from our assignment on the special grounds that modesty is outraged. It is pride that would deny the call for God himself. All false humility we lay aside today that we may listen to God's voice reveal to us what he would have us do. We do not doubt our adequacy for the function he will offer us. We will be certain only that he knows our strengths, our wisdom, and our holiness. And if he deems us worthy, so we are. It is but arrogance that judges otherwise. There is one way, and only one, to be released from imprisonment, your plan to prove the false is true has brought to you. I'm going to read that again. There is one way, and only one, to be released from the imprisonment your plan to prove the false is true has brought to you. Accept the plan you did not make instead. Judge not your value to it. If God's voice assures you that salvation needs your part and that the whole depends on you, be sure that it is so. The arrogance must cling to words, afraid to go beyond them to experience which might affront their stance. Yet are the humble, being joined by a chicken. Sorry. Yet are the humble free to hear the voice which tells them what they are and what to do. Arrogance makes an image of yourself that is not real. It is this image which quails and retreats in terror as the voice for God assures you that you have the strength, the wisdom, and the holiness to go beyond all images. You are not weak, as is the image of yourself. You are not ignorant and helpless. Sin cannot tarnish the truth in you, and misery can come not near the holy home of God. All this, the voice for God relates to you. And as he speaks, the image trembles and seeks to attack the threat it does not know, sensing its basis crumble. Let it go. Salvation of the world depends on you and not upon this little pile of dust, which is the ego. What can it tell the Holy Son of God? Why need he be concerned with it at all? And so we find our peace. We will accept the function God has given us, for all illusions rest upon the weird belief we can make another for ourselves. Our self-made roles are shifting. They seem to change from mourner to ecstatic bliss of love and loving. We can laugh or weep and greet the day with welcome or with tears. Our very being seems to change as we experience 1,000 shifts in mood, and our emotions raise us high indeed, or dash us to the ground in hopelessness. Is this the Son of God? Could he create such instability and call it Son? He who is changeless shares his attributes with his creation. All the images his Son appears to make have no effect on what he is. They blow across his mind like wind-swept leaves that form a patterning an instant, break apart a group again, and scamper off. Or like mirages seen above a desert rising from the dust. These unsubstantial images will go and leave your mind unclouded and serene when you accept the function given you. The images you make give rise to but conflicting goals, impermanent and vague, uncertain and ambiguous. Who could be constant in his efforts or direct his energies and concentrated drive toward goals like these? The functions which the world esteems are so uncertain that they change 10 times an hour at their most secure. What hope of gain can rest on goals like this? In lovely contrast, certain as the sun's return each morning to dispel the night, your truly given function stands out clear and wholly unambiguous. There is no doubt of its validity. It comes from one who knows no error, and his voice is certain of its messages. They will not change nor be in conflict. All of them point to one goal, and one you can attain. Your plan may be impossible, but God's can never fail because he is its source. I think leading up to these final paragraphs of this lesson, we're just being told that our scattered desires basically drain our life force energy away from us. And so we miss the point of simplicity, where we just think of things like forgiveness and salvation as being our purpose and our function. And the highlight of all that is the more work that we do, the more the healing that happens all over. It transmits from us out to the world around us, out to the far edges of the universe. So this is a great reminder to get back to simplicity. Make your practice a priority so that you can develop this really true, deep sense of inner peace that lasts longer and longer. Maybe you could only go a couple of hours, or maybe you're going like a week and really feeling peaceful and then something happens. But whatever it is, that's your gauge of knowing if you're on the path of salvation, which is God's will for you, is how scattered you are and how miscellaneous these things are that you're focusing on and expending your energy on. Okay, back to the reading. Do as God's voice directs, and if it asks a thing of you which seems impossible, remember who it is that asks and who would make denial. Then consider this: which is more likely to be right? The voice that speaks for the Creator of all things, who knows all things exactly as they are, or a distorted image of yourself, confused, bewildered, inconsistent, and unsure of everything? Let not its voice direct you. Hear instead a certain voice which tells you of a function given you by your Creator, who remembers you and urges that you now remember him. His gentle voice is calling from the known to the unknowing. He would comfort you, although he knows no sorrow. He would make a restitution, though he is complete, a gift to you, although he knows that you have everything already. He has thoughts which answer every need his Son perceives, although he sees them not. For love must give, and what is given in his name takes on the form most useful in a world of form. These are the forms which never can deceive, because they come from formlessness itself. Forgiveness is an earthly form of love, which, as it is in heaven, has no form. Yet what is needed here is given here as it's needed. In this form, you can fulfill your function even here, although what love will mean to you when formlessness has been restored to you is greater still. Salvation of the world depends on you who can forgive. Such is your function here. So I will share the Ken Wapnick teaching manual support points to what I just read here to you. By our choosing the Holy Spirit, forgiveness corrects our mistaken identification with the ego. Although this function is shared by everyone and thus is non-specific, the forms in which we express it differ markedly since each of us is in specific relationships. Yet because God's Son is one and the content of forgiveness is the same, each mind's healing heals the sonship. Thus the world is saved, for the thought of separation that gave rise to it has been undone. And so what that means to me is that it's acknowledging that we are all very unique incarnations, and very specific plans have been laid out in our blueprint, that we came here during this time for a specific reason with certain gifts and talents and desires so that we can all work together. And that this salvation thing it's an inside job, but it's definitely a collective experience. However, we don't have to worry about how well other people are doing or how much on their path they are, because just by you being the very unique expression of God that you are is creating the ripple effect that is necessary to bring about salvation for a much, much broader audience and a much bigger plan. So I wanted to read one last thing before I let you go. Enjoy your salvation and your freedom today. A little portion from the text that's related to this lesson that Ken puts into his teaching for today. So here's, Jesus gets the final word. You are altogether irreplaceable in the mind of God. To accept yourself as God created you cannot be arrogance, because it is the denial of arrogance. To accept your littleness is arrogant, because it means that you believe your evaluation of yourself is truer than God's. Yet if truth is indivisible, your evaluation of yourself must be God's. He would have you replace the ego's belief in littleness with his own exalted answer to what you are, so that you can cease to question it and know for what it is. So I feel like that statement is extremely loving, acknowledging our beauty, each of us individually, as a piece of spirit that has come here to express in a certain way, and that we should stop questioning it, right? To get in the flow of our own expression. And whatever your forgiveness practice looks like is probably going to be different than someone else's, maybe different than this little chicken friend that's been talking to me during this video today. But whatever it is, express yourself, love yourself, embrace your freedom, embrace the joy, call in more peace into your life so that you can actually complete your function without worrying anymore about why you're here or what you're supposed to be doing. Let it flow. Stay with your practice. Enjoy these lessons, and I'll see you back here on the next video.